about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you make this decision? It's stupid. And I'm going to tell you why it's stupid. I want all the ladies on this squad to know every single one of y'all are deserving of it. Caitlin Clark does not deserve a spot ahead of any of the players on this roster. Okay? If we're talking just basketball, you know we're not. You know.
The sports media world just got rocked by a shock nobody saw coming. One single decision hit like a bomb, and suddenly everyone was scrambling to make sense of the fallout. Social media went nuclear, and one of the loudest, most confident voices flipped from in control to completely unraveling in record time. People are shouting about what it all means, but they're missing the real story. And that's where things get truly wild.
To admit the Caitlin Clark effect. Is this happening without Caitlin Clark? Without the popularity, because we've seen what happened to the ratings when she was out for those 2-3 weeks. Remember that, right? Don't let me bring that up. Don't let me get some receipts now. When Caitlin Clark was out, the WNBA's popularity dissipated. That is a fact.
The chaos didn't begin with drama. It began with that stunned silence that hits when something so unexpected happens your brain. Just short circuits, like watching someone casually walk away from a winning lottery ticket. Stephen A. Smith looked as if his entire reality had glitched the moment the announcement dropped that Caitlin Clark was out.
Have popularity, she's number one, and it's not even close. Do you want to have Caitlin Clark on the roster? And if you do, who are you taking off? And how do you tell that person, hey, we want to have the popular girl on? And Caitlin Clark has been playing basketball for almost 10 consecutive months now. She could use a break. I don't want to speak on her behalf, but from what I've seen, she's gone through an awful lot. This is what Team USA is probably worried about. Caitlin Clark's on the bench and she's not getting any run. And then the fans get upset. Now, that was reported by Christine Brennan.
She wasn't injured. She wasn't suspended. There was no mysterious team drama behind it. She was simply done, walking away like she had better things to do. And that reality hit Stephen A. so hard it practically short-circuited his brain, to the point where you could almost see his soul leaving his body in real time.
USA Women's Basketball was assembling this Olympic squad, and they said, strictly based on the numbers, while Caitlin Clark is an outstanding basketball player, we just don't think she's there yet. And we don't want to take away a spot from someone else that we believe is more deserving from a basketball standpoint, even though we know that she brings millions of eyeballs to this sport. If they left her off this roster because there's concern that her millions of fans would be upset with the amount of playing time that she has, that is absolutely ridiculous.
This wasn't a typical player sitting out. This was a golden child politely declining the throne. The star everyone had been waiting for casually stepping back while the entire circus was still setting up its tents. And Stephen A. didn't just disagree with it. He took it as a personal attack, the kind that makes forehead veins fight for screen time, while rational thinking gets escorted out the door.
He's white. And because of that, when you consider some of the hard times other people gave her, they were resentful of the fact that this white girl came on the scene where there was a bunch of sisters that preceded her spanning decades that were big time that deserved a lot of credit. I mean, people looked at the Cheryl Swoops of the world, the Maya Moores of the world, and others, and they said, yo, there was a bunch of people that came before her that did big things for the WNBA. I respect it. It is right. I appreciate it.
The whole thing turned into a privileged debate almost instantly. In Stephen A.'s mind, Team USA isn't just basketball, it's sacred ground. So when Caitlin Clark declined the invitation, he reacted as if she personally disrespected the flag. Somewhere, a bald eagle probably shed a single tear. The outrage came fast and loud, wrapped in theatrical shock and awe. How could anyone say no to such an honor, such a privilege, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to wear the jersey, stand for the anthem, and bask in a patriotic spotlight that, let's be honest, most people only tune into when the men are playing. This was supposed to be her coronation, the moment Caitlin Clark officially became the league's favorite debate topic and walking ratings machine. Instead, she chose sanity, and Stephen A. has never been known to respect sanity. What followed felt less like sport analysis and more like performance art. She didn't storm off or melt down. She simply opted out, calm and deliberate, with the confidence of someone who knows exactly what they're doing and doesn't need approval from a daytime TV personality.
Ticket prices, television ratings, it's a fact. It's undeniable. It's undeniable. That's not to throw shade on a product and act like it doesn't grow at all. It's not to say that there wasn't improvement and there wasn't an elevation in its popularity. It's just saying that it's on another dimension when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Do you know what the best thing that could happen for the WNBA is right now? Are you ready?
Here's what really stung. Sports media can handle drama. It lives for it. What it can't handle is independence, especially when that independence comes from a player who's been sold as a messiah of an entire league, the rating savior, the walking endorsement machine, the reason cameras suddenly remembered women's basketball exists. Stephen A. wasn't reacting to a roster decision. He was reacting to his entire narrative getting shredded. That perfect storyline. Caitlin Clark shows up, dominates everything, waves the flag, and everyone else falls in line. Got fed straight into the paper shredder, and you could practically hear his blood pressure spiking. Because beneath all the yelling, the outrage boils down to one uncomfortable truth. Caitlin Clark flipped the game. She chose rest. She chose focus. She chose her future over a temporary spectacle. And somehow, that got painted as selfish. Stephen A. made it sound like she personally canceled the 4th of July.
I applaud it. I say do it. Get as far away from the WNBA as you can. Let that league sink. Okay? Do not help them. Caitlin, get away. I believe you could create your own league. Okay? You could be the fucking player that creates whatever, the next professional women's basketball league. Let this one just go and let Caitlin try to build the next WNBA. I don't know what we'll call it. Maybe we can even do 3-on-3 or 4-on-4, something.
The irony here is thick enough to bounce off concrete. For years, athletes are told to protect themselves, manage their workload, and think about tomorrow instead of just a day, right up until they actually do it. Then it suddenly becomes a character flaw, a lack of heart. Somehow, even a disrespect to a jersey that will still be hanging there tomorrow, next year, and long after the day's talking heads have moved on to whatever outrage pays the bills next week. What really fueled this was the unspoken belief that Caitlin Clark owed something. Not to her teammates or her body, but to the show, the cameras, the endless debate segments that need her name in the headline just to justify their existence. Stephen A. never said that part out loud, but he didn't have to. If this had been framed as overwork or league mismanagement, the outrage machine would have just changed costumes and kept rolling. But she took that angle away too. By stepping back on her own terms, Caitlin Clark robbed the media of its favorite game, pointing fingers at everyone else. With no one left to blame, they tried to make her the villain, and that was never going to sit right.
Think on both fronts, merit and publicity. You, of course, mentioned it. It's just a total swing and a miss by the national governing body, by USA Basketball. But I'll start with my answer by saying I have covered this women's basketball team, and I've covered it longer than anyone else probably. And what happens when you go to a women's gold medal game, U.S. women's basketball, the greatest team, most dominant team on the planet, men's, women's, any sport, Rich, I could make that case. They last lost in the 1992 Olympics. That's how good they are.
So Stephen A. did what he always does. He cranked the volume to 11. He inflated the situation until it sounded like international basketball itself would collapse over a single decision, as if Team USA, a program stacked with elite talent and decades of dominance, would somehow crumble without one player. As if the entire foundation rested solely on Caitlin Clark's shooting and nothing else. Ironically, that reaction proved her impact better than any compliment ever could, because you don't lose your mind like that unless something real just happened. You don't explode unless it hits exactly where it hurts. And what hurt was the realization that Caitlin Clark has real power, the kind that doesn't need a shout to be undeniable. The league has been feeding off her star power from day one. Ticket sales, TV ratings, merchandise, all of it. Stephen A.'s meltdown wasn't really about patriotism, legacy, or even basketball. It was about control, about who gets to call the shots and who gets to write the story.
Reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so it'll be fun to watch them. Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. We remember that, and hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around,
And Caitlin Clark reminded everyone that she doesn't ask for permission. The most revealing part was how quickly this turned into a moral crusade, as if skipping one tournament somehow erased years of work, dedication, and excellence. Like saying no to Team USA was the same as walking away from sports altogether. Meanwhile, the same system routinely celebrates players for resting, managing minutes, and being strategic about their careers. The difference mattered, and the difference here was simple. Caitlin Clark didn't follow the script. Stephen A's reaction felt less like anger and more like panic. Panic that the power had shifted, that the usual pressure tactics didn't work, that yelling louder couldn't undo a decision already made. And the longer he went on, the clearer it became. This was never about changing Caitlin Clark's mind. It was about convincing the audience she was wrong, that the machine still had control, that the spectacle mattered more than the person. But people aren't stupid. They saw what really happened. A player making a smart, calculated choice in a league that constantly demands emotional performances from its stars. And instead of chaos, the world just kept turning.